Been watching a news conference there with state officials and the governor on South Carolina's response plan to Hurricane Florence, what is in place and what will come in the days ahead. The storm will have an impact not just this weekend, but of course long after it's gone. You heard there from many different state officials. I want to give you a quick rundown. That's going to be a factor for us here in the Midlands, specifically tonight and tomorrow night. They are warning you that it's going to be dangerous to get out there on the roadways. They're also checking in on the coast. Right now, I want to head over to Judy and Dominus. And you guys, the picture behind you, it's Myrtle Beach, and we know that they are dealing with wind gusts there. We are glad to have you with us this morning. Hurricane Florence has weakened. We say that lightly, weakened, but still a very powerful storm. It's a Category 2 storm at this point. We have team coverage this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on Sunrise. I'm Sam Bleiweis. Hurricane Michael, you can see here, knocking on Florida's door right there south of the Panhandle as a Cat 4 storm.
We can actually step out in the midst of it. So let's step out here, and I'm going to show you what's going on out here right now. Clint's going to follow me. Columbia Police have left the scene here, but you can see the aftermath, and this is going to be the story of the day for us. Yeah, I've been outside for maybe, I don't know, a minute and a half now talking to you, and I am completely soaked at this point. So be mindful of that. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this morning, trying to get out before the brunt of this, be mindful of some of these sporadic wind gusts, the heavy drenching rain. It's going to continue to be an issue this morning. Mary Leland, back to you.
All right, Sam, you can get undercover if you want. Quick question for you first, though. You've been out for several hours this morning. You were also in Lexington County. So tell us a little bit about the difference in some of the rain bands you saw earlier and what you're feeling now.
Absolutely. So Clint, we're still on. We're going to go ahead and you can pan this way for me. So what we saw earlier, we first went out to Lexington this morning. We drove on I-126. And if you've been with us throughout the morning here, we told you about 3 hours ago that when we were driving out to Lexington, we saw some of that pooling on the roadways there on I-126. And we know that DOT had reported that. I'll show you where there is some water here on the roadway. So come on over here, Clint. Let's show them. When I got out of the car, first thing I saw was, as you can see here, the water pooling up here on the sides.
We had some major issues here in the Midlands, but of course nothing like what Florida got over the past couple of days. Others are still recovering from Hurricane Florence. And today, Senator Lindsey Graham took a tour of the damage from that storm and heard concerns from residents in the PD. Our Caroline Hecker was there and has more.
I spoke with Rabbi Jonathan Case here earlier, and he told me this is a chance for us to come together as one, of all backgrounds, of all colors, of all races, of all religions, for us to come together and pray together and mourn the people who are lost.
America is better than this.
And that's something that the rabbi said to me over and over again, that America is better than this. We will hear from all three rabbis tonight. We will also hear from the president of the Jewish Federation of Columbia. And again, as Judy and Greg had just mentioned, the funerals for those victims began today. And it was marked also by a visit from the president there in Pittsburgh.
Jay Gray, NBC News, Pittsburgh.
And back here live in Columbia at Beth Shalom Synagogue, we expect also to see Jennifer Pinckney here tonight, someone who knows the tragedy of gun violence in a house of worship all too well. Now I want to bring in Holly Emore. She is one of the spokespersons for Interfaith Partners of South Carolina. Holly, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And we were talking about this off camera, Holly, about the importance of having an interfaith conversation on a day like this one.
So candidates will square off tonight, hoping to attract new voters ahead of next week's runoff. John Warren and Governor Henry McMaster will take the debate stage at the Newberry Opera House.
Live here in Columbia at 701 Whaley. This is where we have had the watch party for Representative James Smith, who just recently found out that he has taken this nomination. There were thousands lined up outside, and it is hot out there, let me tell you. So a lot of people still waiting to see the door. I want to give you a sense of what it's like inside here. Obviously a much different picture now as they start to break this down, but you heard it there in that sound. This was a crowd that was here to listen to the president speak. Be confident and upbeat. That is how the McMaster campaign is feeling tonight, but this race has really tightened up towards the finish. Previous polling had McMaster and John Warren a little bit more spread out, but at this point only 9 percentage points separates the governor and his challenger, John Warren. So it'll be interesting to see here tonight who actually came out to the polls. Now his team checks this box as they look ahead to the general election in November, when he will of course take on longtime Representative James Smith, Democratic nominee. For now, reporting live from Spirit Communications Park in Columbia, Sam Bleiweis, WIS News 10.